40, can play all three linebacker spots and be an edge rusher, which means he could put his hand in the dirt and probably rush next to Khalil Mack, and it will be pretty good. Instead, he goes to Buffalo, one of your AFC rivals, who I think last year beat you, and the year before
Mercy rolled you. 21 skunked you.
And went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they were still sorry.
NCAA'd you. NCAA'd on rookie moded you. 255 to 0'd you, practically. And also cost you for making the playoffs one year with the loss, if I remember correctly, a couple years ago. And, like, you let him go to the Bills. You don't draft a linebacker to the 7th round in Hakeem Victor, who's out of shape and has been messed up ever since he broke his leg in college his junior year. He's never been the same player. But, I mean, hey, I guess the Bengals want slow middle linebackers. Shout out to Vontaze.
So, can I get back in here since
Yeah.
You hijacked my whole
No.
take.
I was just talking about linebackers.
You were just rambling. What I was trying to say
I'm
is
talking about linebackers.
the pick. Here's the thing: Colton Miller in the first round with the Raiders draft, I can excuse.
Trash against Memphis.
I can excuse that. I understand it. You needed McGlinchey got taken at number 9. You panicked. You traded back. You didn't get what you should have got. Whatever. Fine. You take Colton Miller. You take the player you're going to take at 10. He's a starting right tackle today. He can potentially develop into a left tackle if he gets physical and learns
So
how
he's
to
Jason
punch.
Spriggs, like I said on this show.
No, he's not Jason Spriggs. He's not even that athletic.
They
But
ran the same 40 time practically.
But here's my thing. Second round, PJ Hall. Again, I don't love that pick, but I can excuse it. I understand it.
It was a reach.
I understand. It was a reach. I understand it, though.
They don't want to lose him.
It. They wanted a defensive player. He was disruptive. He has great tape. I've seen him mocked everywhere from the first to, like, 3rd round. So it's okay value.
To be fair, his combine, his pro day was really close to the draft. He ran a 4.76, had like 36 bench press reps, and had a 38-inch vertical. You don't see that out of defensive tackles. And he had insane production.
But where my rub is,
drum roll, maybe?
you could have taken Darius Goussey, and he would have been Guice, whatever. I've been calling him Goussey, so I'm just gonna stay consistent to that.
He gonna fight you one day.
It's not a snuff. I just don't know how to say his name
Because it's a Creole name, I think. Those are always kind of sketch to say.
The point is, Goussey, he would have been the ear to Marshawn Lynch. He would have given the Raiders a dynamic playmaker in the backfield, someone who can both catch and run the ball, both inside the tackles and outside the tackles.
Special teams.
He would have been the perfect running back for the Raiders to take. He would have been an excellent value at 57. Instead, they let him fall to the Redskins at 59. And that kind of irked me. On top of the fact, the Parker trade really just kind of TKO'd me, and I was just tuned out of the draft after that.
It was pretty stupid, especially when Harrison Phillips was on the board, Fred Warner was on the board, linebacker out of BYU, Malik Jefferson, linebacker out of Texas, was on the board.
Sam Hubbard.
I'm not high on Sam Hubbard. They passed on Josh Sweat, but they managed to get Arden Key, who was one huge red flag. He's literally what you would call Aldon Smith 2.0.
But slower.
Way slower.
And less stronger. And here's my thing.
And not even a polished product.
I was on draft Twitter, right, and they were comparing Arden Key to Bruce Irvin.
Josh Sweat is more of a...
My whole thing with that comparison is, outside of arm length and weight, they really don't have a lot in common, because Bruce Irvin is a much small... He's like 3 inches smaller, which makes him a much more compact player, and it actually makes him seem lengthier than he is.
Because he has like
Arden
4.4
Key
speed.
is 6'5", and so his 33-inch arms are like way more proportionate to his body, and he's less lengthy. On top of the fact that, well, Bruce Irvin proved that he had the speed at the combine to play linebacker for half of his career and actually drop back into coverage.
And his pro day.
Arden Key ran a 4.85, and I don't want to hear any excuses about his preparation because bro was a top 50 recruit. I guarantee you he's been going to combines his entire life, and I guarantee you he knows how to run a 40-yard dash. So I'm not giving you a pass for a 4.85.
And LSU players always run faster at their pro day, by the way. Just a fact.
All that said, I like the Arden Key pick only because it makes up for all the other reaches that the Raiders made in the first 3 picks. That was probably the best value. That was the first pick where they got actual good value. And as much of a red flag as Arden Key is, as you've said,
a blinding red flag.
I'm the type of person that likes to give players the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong, and probably until they can no longer prove me right.
Because Aldon Smith.
Because I pretty much gave Aldon Smith the benefit of the doubt until like literally the last day.
Yeah, you were the last one.
Yeah, I was literally the last one.
We just put a blanket around your shoulders and you just walked off crying.
But yeah, pretty much, I think Arden Key compares more to Aldon Smith than Bruce Irvin because I think he's more comfortable playing as a 3-down lineman. Irvin, I think he didn't even really play in run formations in college. He was pretty much a pass rushing specialist.
He was a stand-up pass rusher.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a 3-4 outside linebacker, if we're being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Who can play outside linebacker. But I just still think they should have went after Josh Sweat, who was like a carbon copy, but even bigger and stronger than Bruce Irvin. He ran a 4.53, I think. 4.53. They passed on Lorenzo Carter out of Georgia. Like, it was disgusting to see who they passed on to get a tackle. Just because you don't like Reggie McKenzie's picks at right tackle from the year before, you get another tackle in the 3rd round, and you didn't even get the best tackle. You could have got the tackle out of Oregon, Tyrell Crosby. It was dumb.
And I don't even think this class was a Reggie McKenzie class, and I don't think so because I don't think so because like 8 of the 9 players, or like 7 of the 9 players the Raiders took had either medical
or character issues. And Reggie McKenzie, he might throw 1 or 2 in there. He shies away completely.
But he tries his best to shy away from that. He tries his best to get high character guys regardless of their injury concerns.
A la Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper.
So, and I think Mike Freeman actually wrote an article. We cite Mike Freeman here every week. But
you do mostly.
Yeah, because he's a GOAT. But
he is.
The point is, he even said that this draft class has all the signs of it being a Gruden class.
He's pretty much consolidating all the power of that organization. He wants to be just like Belichick, even though he's nothing like Belichick.
I think
he won a ring with Tony Dungy's players.
I think he's trying to rewrite all of Reggie McKenzie's sins in one draft class, and I don't know if it's going to work. It's a lot to do in one class.
You pretty much took a crap. Like, he'll be like, see, we gave him help. We gave Khalil Mack and Derek Carr help. You really didn't. Because if you were going to give him some help, you would put a linebacker out there who could actually stop defenses on 3rd down.
See, here's the thing that keeps me off the edge with the Raiders draft class, right?
I think they did the worst, honestly.
Here's the thing that keeps me off the edge. When you look at it big picture and you kind of analyze everything and look at the class a little bit differently, like, don't look at it in terms of individual value, but if you look at what they got as a whole, so if you kind of reposition the way things were, like, if you see Maurice Hurst as a 1st-round pick, which they got in the 5th-round pick, many people had him going in the 1st round.
Some people say if he plays again, he might die.
If you see well, besides that, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So then you see that as a 1st-round pick. Let's say you see Colton Miller as a 2nd-round pick, which is right where he should have went.
Yeah.
Right? And then the 3rd round, you see P.J. Hall. The 2nd, 3rd round, you see Arden Key, same spot. You could put Nick Nelson in the 4th spot still. You could put Victor in the fifth spot.
Now I think Nelson goes in the fifth spot because he's good, but he was hurt. He tore his meniscus in a workout at Wisconsin's pro day. So I'd put Parker in the fourth spot.
I put Parker in the seventh spot.
Because I'm not taking.
I put Parker.
I'm not
in the
putting
seventh
Azim Victor. Like he's not. He's shown nothing that he'd be really worth that pick.
The point is,
and
like,
Leon Jacobs was still on the board.
The point is, like, when you don't look at who the Raiders passed on and you look at what they got and kind of reposition it, it's not as bad as we're making it sound.
So it's not a shit sandwich. It's escargot.
Pretty much something like that, yeah. And I could rock with that a little bit.
It's a deep. It's not a melted ice cream sandwich on the curb with ants on it. It's a deep fried mayonnaise sandwich.
That one, not so much.
No, in some states. No, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. You think I'm joking, but some people really eat deep fried mayonnaise sandwiches in some states.
That sounds like death. I literally couldn't digest that.
Yeah, nor should you. In some places, in some spaces, and in some people's faces, this draft class, they'll find a reason to say it's good. I think it was horribly mismanaged. I think they got positions to fill needs, but there's no guarantee all these guys are going to pan out.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing there is
like,
you don't really have one sure pick that you're like, this is the guy. Because even the one you want to say, Maurice Hurst, who has the most likely and is the best value, as you said before,
his heart condition is so severe, like he could drop dead on the field, and that would be horrific. There's teams who took him off his board completely, didn't want him to play.
All right, so final point on the Raiders. Before we move on, Raiders draft class 2018. How are you going to remember it?
I'm going to remember it like that 1 year, like your senior year playing football or basketball, whatever sport you played in high school, and y'all had way more talent, but you really actually got snuffed in the first round of the playoffs. But, like, you look back and say, you know what, we actually did a lot.
So my senior year?
My senior year, too. We actually, like, went further than anyone did. And then when we look back,
we blew a 21-point lead to the eventual champs.
We just got blown the hell out in Santa Maria. Yeah, we went all the way to Santa Maria. Some dude who looked like, I don't know, like he was in one of those androgynous dudes. I couldn't tell if he was a man or a woman or not. He saw me eating. We were at a hometown buffet earlier in the day. He's like, "Big boy, you had enough to eat?" And I just looked at him like, that wasn't even a funny joke. And everybody else around me laughed, and I was just like, I could catch you outside. There's too many white people. We're in Santa Maria.
All right, so real quick, just to keep it local, before we move on from the draft, the Rams draft, what do you take away from it? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it?
They didn't reach, but they got everything they needed. They got linebackers. They got Mekhi Kaiser. I really like that. They got that Oklahoma edge rusher. I really like that. I thought they should have probably went after Leon Jacobs out of Wisconsin. 6'3", position versatility, strong, ran a 4.48. Like, that's something that I feel like speed-wise, like, they would have loved. I thought they probably should have drafted Shaquem Griffin, but they didn't. So really just kind of went with, okay, the Rams just really want functional players, edge rushers they could build around, which is good. I feel like they'll find a way to get sacks out of their edge rushers. And their linebackers are stout for the 3-4 that, you know, the 3-4 defense they're going to run. They got pretty good guys. Yeah. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers, though.
Yeah, man. Are you going to elaborate on that before I go on the Rams?
Yeah, because they're my honorable mention. I guess the Rams are your honorable mention. But the Steelers went and got, after trading away Martavis Bryant, they got James Washington. I love the Terrell Edmonds pick, because I think he's a beast and he is going to be a baller, and for like the fact that he's super athletic.
Safeties.
No, I think they got the right safety. They got like the Steelers always have physical, fast safeties who are smart, but now they have a guy who's physical, fast, and has ball skills. I think he'll be better than Ryan Clark was, where Ryan Clark was really just there to make calls and not get any interceptions. Like Burnett and him, they have scheme versatility. Like Edmonds was a corner who switched to free safety. He was a linebacker sophomore year, and I think was like almost a All-American.